Hi, Tuan. Okay, I'm going to go over a few parts of your project and we're going to compare them to a few of the sites that you sent me over in the screenshot. I'm going to show you a few similarities and a few areas where it will completely differ. Okay, so this would be the landing page of the site we're developing for you. And notice their first option is a call to action to get an estimate. Now, these options here will change. These fields will, depending on the data we want to collect for you to provide an estimate. So, for instance, the first one would most likely be their email. It would be their email, but the second one would be, possibly the location that it's arrived, getting picked up from, the location it's getting delivered to, possibly the date, and possibly the weight of the actual load or the estimated weight. And then they would just simply click get an estimate. That would in return send this data to your email that we program in here and allow you to send them back a quick estimate. So that's your first call to action that a lot of these guys here are lacking on their landing page. So you can see none of them have a strong call to action that would actually trigger a conversion. So nobody has a chance to make a conversion right when they click on this page, and that's a no-no when you're developing websites. So here, let's jump back over to yours, and keep in mind that all of this area, except for this quote form, is content related. So I'll go over that in a second, explain to you what that means while we're going over these other sites. Okay, but as I scroll down, obviously, we're going to change this from not by land, by sea, by air. Remember, all this content is placeholder. So this may be, for instance, local, long distance, flatbed. And that's just as an example. Depending on the content you give me to put in the website will determine what I put here because all these websites are different than what you offer. You explain to me you're only going to provide flatbed services. So again, I need to these websites give me a lot of help, but they don't give me actual content to fill the website up with as far as text. So we got land, by sea, by air, and this may be again local, long distance, flatbed. And we're giving the users a little bit of information here. It will obviously lead to a page that they can learn more, but it's a little bit about the shipping company, and I got this information off of one of your other shipping sites. And again, this will probably change because every business is different. And until I get content from you, actual content and text, it's going to be hard for me to complete any of the content of the site because no matter how much I learn about your business, I'll never understand your business fully. I deal with too many separate, too many different types of businesses on a day-to-day basis. So this is one area where you may be hiring, and we'll have a call to action. We'll go over again. This is just your front page. It's content driven, and we're coming to the end of it. Now, your free estimate page would also be your quote page. So if a user were to click this free estimate button, that follows them throughout the website, so they always know how to get an estimate. They will go to this page where it's giving them all the content that I got from another website. So this is all of the information, the fields that another website was requesting in order to provide a quote, you now have. And I believe it was, let me see, it might have been this one here. No, might have been this one, get a quote. No, it wasn't that one. It was one of these that was offering a quote. I believe it was this one. Yes, it was this one. So again, all the fields they have, but your form is styled a lot better than this, as you can see. Okay. So again, we have this call to action for the quote. That's your main conversion point right here up until this point, other than your number. So now the rest of it is just going to be informational driven. It's going to tell a lot about your website, your company, what you do. Obviously, again, this is all dummy text. But if you come to these websites, you notice where most of the information, our company, is all content driven. This really has nothing to do with their website in general. It's just a lot of content to get search locations. Now, we would never create this many pages for any project under, $30,000, because they probably have in total probably 100 pages in this website, even though 100 aren't in the menu. We're looking at around more like 10 to 15 on your website, maybe 20. but and that's for the price we quoted. All right, let's go over here and excuse me. All right, this is one area I want to talk to you about. This is their login. So if I were to come up here and select login, they have a truckers portal and a customer portal. Now you can have a truckers portal and you can have a customers portal as well. But depending on what is inside of these login pages, I don't have access to these, so I'm assuming you having a history in the trucking businesses know what may or may not be behind one of these pages. One of them, I'm assuming, is a way for the truck drivers, or excuse me, the customers to track their load. And again, we won't have be able to provide that service for you because first, it's probably a $30,000 job just building the application, and it would take probably close to a year to develop that application unless you purchased it from another company. And if you did that, it would need to be compatible with our website. Now we can talk about that if that's something you want to discuss in the future, but this would not be a part of the original design of your website. We can have a portal for the customers, but it would be more data driven. It would be more with content like PDF documents, lease the any documentation that you might provide to a customer when they hire you for a service, excuse me. And let's go back here. That's the same with the truckers portal. I don't know what would a trucker would see when he logged into this page. So this is stuff we have to talk about. I'm assuming it may be job types, it may be I don't know, schedules, all that information we can add to your area like this, but you would need to provide the information, obviously, because we're not part of your office staff. So that's stuff that would need to be provided to us on a regular basis. Now we're going to go back, and you've got an idea of what I mean by content-driven website. So let's go ahead and let me show you a little bit more here. I don't know. See how this one is flatbed, specialized in flatbed, heavy haul, van lines. Obviously, you don't do van lines. I don't know if you're doing Canada projects. So I need to know a lot of these things. Are you doing marine time? Are you doing, let me see what I had back over here on the front page. Are you doing anything? Are you delivering by land, sea, and air? I don't know. You may be doing that. So these are things we need to talk about because in order for me to do this project right for you, there's a lot of information. I have to understand your business, almost as good as you do, the ins and outs of it on how it's going to operate. Because, it's imperative to me that this website serves a function rather than just being a placeholder on the internet. So next week, when you're ready to start, make sure you contact me before then so we can make sure we're on the same page prior to starting this. And it would be best to do that conversation with just me and you on the phone so we can have as little interruptions as possible. Okay? Enjoy your day, Twan. If you have any questions, feel free to